We also have got our chairperson for human capital and governance, Baba Nkosenthle Medlala, who's chairing that committee. We also have got our whip of our council, Baba Utembo Nduli. We also have got our CFO, Baba Umguni. We have decided to hold this press briefing following the meeting that we had early in the morning, just to take stock of what has happened. We are going to give this opportunity to our mayor to take us through to the statement, just to shed the light of how has things fared here in eThekwini following the raids that have been bucketing down. We'll then allow you to pose questions of clarity immediately once he's done with his statement. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Maisela, our communicator. On the leadership with me today, Deputy Mayor, Whip of the Council, the Chairperson of Governance and the CFO. We wish to welcome all the members of the media who are present in this briefing to alert our communities as well as to tell the nation on our state of disaster in eThekwini. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, please allow me to also share with you that we've been in constant communication with the Premier of our province and the MEC for Kaunda, MEC Kaunda, in handling the situation that is confronting us. For the past 3 days, our city has experienced heavy downpours that are indeed leaving a trail of damage. This morning, we convened an urgent multidisciplinary meeting to take stock of damage as a result of the heavy rains in the past few days. When the South African Weather Services alerted us of these heavy rains, we issued an alert to the members of the public. We then put our disaster management teams on standby. Immediately after receiving reports from the public, which worsened last night, the reports from the public which worsened last night, wheels were set in motion for rescue operations and relief aid by our disaster management personnel. We immediately took a decision to open all community halls in our residential areas to accommodate residents that were displaced by these heavy rains. Following a number of reports that were logged in our call centers, the entire system was overwhelmed and it became very difficult for many of our residents to get through. This state of affairs resulted in us being unable to respond to all queries that the members of the committee are putting before us. It will then be remiss of me not to sincerely apologize to all those who were in need of our assistance to be unable to reach us as their municipality. Let me then take you to the impact on the provision of basic services. Most of the city's power stations, electricity power stations, have been flooded and our teams were unable to access them last night. But our team started working on these facilities in the early hours of this morning. We'd like to urge our communities to bear with us while we are working to restore electricity supply to all residential areas and businesses. We want to assure the residents that we are attending to all these infrastructural challenges that we are faced with. There are certain water treatment plants and water mains that have been damaged, including those that belong to Mungeni Water. Our teams are on the ground to try and return the situation to normalcy. Our roads were not spared following the trees that blocked the pathways in many residential areas of our municipality. We continue to assess the damage and further details will be given as the day progresses. At the moment, we can't be certain on monetary terms of the extent of the damage that we have incurred as a city. But we would like to caution and also issue an alert to all committee members that let us do all our best as committee members to ensure that if there is no emergency for committee members to go to town to leave their residential areas, they must remain at home. Where there are lower bridges next to the streams and the rivers. We also wish to appeal to our community members to avoid those routes so that we are able to save lives, especially during this difficult time that we are faced with. As a city, we wish to express our heartfelt condolences to all families that have lost their loved ones during these heavy rains, and we are, as a city, going to be interacting with them to give necessary support wherever it is required. With that, we urge our people to utilize the city's disaster management call center by using the following numbers: 031 367 0000, 031 367 0000. The next number is 031 367 0039. 031 367 0039. We thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, thank you so much, Honorable Mayor, colleagues of the media. May I open the floor for questions of clarity. You know the procedure that we have to follow, name and the media house from which you then pose your question of Corner and then go.
Okay, Mayor, this is Corner from YouTube Africa. The question that I have is, so KZN Culture have told us that so far they've received reports of about 20 fatalities. They've only been able to verify about 2 for themselves. You know, if in eThekwini the extent of the damage and also the number of fatalities, but also, Mayor, when things like this happen, the criticism that is leveled against government at all levels is poor infrastructure and poor drainage systems. And I guess we have to be prepared for the next few days to be subjected to that level of risk. What do you have to say about the view that some of the areas are flooded because of infrastructure and poor planning on the parts of the system?
My question is also similar to it's not cut from the SABC TV news. My question is, Mr. Mayor, most of the time when flooding is townships, there will be the municipality that is not maintaining the drainage system. First. Secondly, is that whenever there is a problem, the municipality is not quick to act on those problems, especially e.g. the potholes. Once there's a pothole, the municipality is not fixing that until there's rain, and then the whole world will be washed away. So what is the plan of the municipality in trying to avoid those things that we always come and think about the disaster when we as the municipality can be able to act before the disaster?
Thank you from the SABC. I just wanted to know, do we have a number of people that have been reported missing and activities, and also the most affected areas in the picture on what's happening with that?
Don't you want to get questions from the colleagues?
Deal with this first speech, and then afterwards we'll take the questions that are coming from our colleagues that are watching. Let's deal with this one first.
Thank you very much, colleague, for your questions. What differentiates the storms that we were faced with over this weekend and the other storms of 2011, 2017, 2019? Those storms were targeting certain areas. So the storms that we are confronted with, they have targeted all areas in the municipality. And one of the fundamental factors that have influenced many incidents in many areas where we have received reports, they are as a result of the landsliding in those areas. So therefore, it has got nothing to do with the drainage system, but they are in a soil that is moving. So if those houses are built, some of them are built on steep hills, where when water comes and it washes away the entire infrastructure and the properties that our people live in. So therefore, we were all surprised about the magnitude of this storm, which had a very different approach than the other storms that we have seen before. But the issue of the stormwater and the drainage systems, we are unlocking it as a municipality. There are plans that we've been visiting many areas through our Operation Good Hope, where we put our multidisciplinary teams to come and unlock such challenges that are facing our communities. We must also reiterate that the municipality has also deployed its multidisciplinary teams all over the city. Our footprint for now is limited because there are many damages, looking at the number of incidents that have taken place in the municipality. But they are trying their level best to try and rescue our communities and save the lives, because what becomes our priority for now is to save lives wherever possible. We are working with all other law enforcement agencies, the teams from Kaunda that are deployed to support us. We are still advancing our request through the Premier and the Kaunda to ensure that SANDF also comes on board wherever possible to try and reinforce our teams to respond to this. And we are also planning that there will be visits that will be conducted with the Premier and the MEC for Kaunda, just to assess the damages that we have incurred as a city. For now, we can't give you with certainty how much those damages are and give more details. In terms of fatalities, we have agreed in the province that MEC for Kaunda must communicate on our behalf as municipalities, so that we don't deliver different messages when it comes to fatalities. Of course, there are fatalities in eThekwini that we have experienced. Many people have lost their lives, but we'll give necessary support to those families when we move out of the offices and work with them during this difficult period. But we are also responding on issues of infrastructure. Remember that our landfills centers have been flooded. All our electricity stations, major ones, are also flooded. Our water treatment plants that we are using to service communities, our bulk pipes, also involving Umgeni water, bulk pipes of water, have been affected. So, which then cripples the manner in which we render those services to our communities. The mayor also does not have water at home, and many residents in the city have got no water. So we are attending to that. The infrastructure team is all out to ensure that we fix whatever that can be fixed with the speed. But our teams will be working 24/7 to ascertain that all services that have been affected are reinstated to all communities of the city.
Your Worship and the entire leadership, we also have got questions that are coming from our colleagues that are watching on our social media platforms. And the Mayor Sosomani coming from the Citizen newspaper. He's asking about the death toll, but we've also pointed out that the Department of Kaunda is going to lead us in that regard. We also have got one question that is coming from Mobile, Nosipo Kumete, who is asking about a cemetery in Duzuma where heavy rains and floods have washed away graves. There are coffins that are exposed and bodies. I've got also another question that is coming from Cliff Shiko from Jacaranda FM, who is asking what is the total number of people who are missing currently. Has the city received help? I think he was getting help from the SADF. Let us deal with those for now.
Thank you, colleagues, for those questions. Firstly, we have responded on the issue of fatalities and the missing bodies or people who have not been found. But our teams are working tirelessly, especially in the big streams and the rivers within our municipality to ensure that we save those lives where possible. The issue concerning the cemeteries, yes, the reports that we received earlier on today, there were indications that there were cemeteries which have been flooded. So our teams are already out to ensure that we save the the damage that we are seeing and the risk that our people can also find themselves in if we are not resolving this with immediate effect. So our teams are working hard to ensure that we attend to those cemeteries. So the flooding is all over, and we request that our committee members, wherever business people, the churches, religious fraternity, to come on board to assist us wherever possible, because we need all hands to ensure that we save the lives, but also those who need immediate interventions like food and many other interventions are also accessing such services. Together with our teams, we are also working with some NGOs and NPOs to prepare and also ensure that we supply meals, we also supply blankets to ensure that those who are located in our community halls, at least they have something to keep them going at this moment. But we also wish to appeal to all residents that if you see that your house is in danger or is vulnerable during this period, it's better to leave your house and find a safe place to live rather than being washed away with the house that you are living in. We understand the pain, that it's not easy to leave your property, but we need to save lives. That must become our primary objective, all of us, to save people's lives.
Is that the help that you are getting from the SNCF?
Yes, we are still we are still receiving reports that the communication is being done to request SNDF to come in. We are hoping that maybe by end of day, if that is approved, we'll start seeing them getting into the city to assist us to save lives. Because really, what is our primary objective is to ensure that we don't lose many lives. We do all in our best to save our community's lives.
Let's open another round of questions on the floor. First one, I see your hand is up.
Issue of the South African Defence Force. We know their soldiers are generally trained to be civilians. Why are they being called for the storm of this is said? Why does the municipality not have enough resources and labor to attend to this particular issue? And what is the extent of the interaction between soldiers and civilians?
Yeah, in the state of disaster, you never have adequate personnel to handle disaster. That is why it's called a disaster, because it's something which comes beyond your capacity and your capabilities. But all what you need to do is to rise to the occasion to attend to the matters. Because we can't be 100%, but we do have a strong team. We must also welcome that other municipalities are starting to deploy resources to support us. That is more than welcome from Cape Town. The helicopter is on its way to come and help us, because when we get these issues of this magnitude, you put politics aside. That this municipality is governed by this party, but when people need assistance, we must all join our hands to give such interventions. The issue of the SNDF possesses many specialities. When people think about the soldier, they only think about the soldier who's carrying a gun. They are doctors, they are nurses, they are people who are trained to handle disasters, they are pilots, there is everybody. So therefore, their areas of expertise, they become much needed in the situation of this nature to ensure that they reinforce our resources. We will be working with all stakeholders, businesses, and as well as all departments from provincial Department of Roads to come and also intervene in unlocking some of the roads which are their assets in the area, so that we are able to allow the lives of the people to go on. Thank you.
Colleagues of the media, may I request that you allow me to and because currently I'm advised by the Office of the Premier that the NCs and the Premier is working outside for us to commence with the visits to the areas that have been affected. The Office of the Premier will then communicate
the order of proceedings in that regard. Sincere apologize to you, but thank you for coming. This is the situation that is very abnormal. Very abnormal press conference. May I therefore request humbly that we bring it to an end because period that is very. May I therefore thank you and mentioning our to all the areas. Thank you. And all the colleagues that are watching to our social media. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.